back to Blue Ridge Homestead. We're going to plant some potatoes today from some of the ones we had left from last year. They're already starting to sprout out or get eyes, so we're going to go ahead and plant those. It's, what is this, the 29th of March 2022. Temperatures are staying above freezing, about 40 degrees or so. It's plenty of time, prime time to plant them really. And we'll plant some onions here in the next probably couple weeks or so. So what I've done is I've tilled up a row here next to the bean hoops. I left about 3 foot. That lets the potatoes get big enough and I won't have to wade through them to pick beans and stuff like that. We're doing Reba. This is some composted manure that we got on a heck of a deal. Some of the stuff they had left at Rural King from last year, bags were torn, stuff like that. They gave it to us for 30% of retail, which that means this bag is 40 pounds. I think they regularly sell it for $3 or something a bag. We got it for $1, so that's a good deal. It's good, it's organic, and it'll fertilize these potatoes really well. I've already dumped the bag out in the row, and that's kind of what I'll do with this one. I'll just dump it out, and once we get it all where we want it, I'll mix it in with the soil that's already here. Which the soil that's already here is pretty good soil, really. We mixed in pine needles, lawn clippings, leaves, some horse manure, just several things over the years that we've been doing this. And it's really brought this soil from a reddish color to a dark brown. This here will go further in making it really good. It's like you can see this soil here, it's got a lot of organic matter, pine needles, a few little sticks, chopped up leaves, but you can see the color of it is nice and brown. So we'll take this fancy onion hoe. Got that at a flea market for like $2. So, and I'll just kind of work it in back and forth. And while I'm doing it, I'll make my row for my potatoes. Now, some people are probably gonna go, oh man, your rows are not gonna be straight. You're just eyeballing them. It's okay. It's my garden. If you want your rows straight, by all means, make them straight. Mine will be fairly straight, even eyeball. But once we get the potatoes in the row and we get them laid out, we'll cover them up with probably 3 to 4 inches of dirt. And then later on, I'll go back over it with some straw and some manure out of the goat pen. So it does a really good job as a good weed suppressant, and it also further fertilizes the potatoes. And as that straw rots and breaks down with the manure, it will introduce more organic matter into the soil, which will really help us out next year. So we about have this row done, and we'll meet you over at the potatoes here in just a minute. All right, so what we have here are potatoes left over from last year's crop. We have red We also have white. These potatoes, they're big, such as these. You can cut them in half, which works out really well. Reba, you try and be the star of the show today. The ones about this size, I'll plant them whole. Some of them this size, I'll still plant whole. They have lots of sprouts coming out on them, as you can see. Doesn't hurt anything to plant the whole potato. If you do cut them, you get your seed potatoes from any farm supply store, local. I recommend buying them local. I wouldn't go to like Lowe's or Walmart. I prefer to help out the guy that owns the business, that's a local guy that's trying to put his kid through college and just provide for his family. So that's just my thoughts. If you do cut these, a lot of people recommend you cut them and then let them dry for a couple days where you have cut them. Just kind of let them bleed a little bit and dry, get a little scab on them. In the past, me and my family cut them and put them in the ground the same exact day and have not had any trouble. I don't know what the trouble would be, but a lot of people suggest doing that. So for ours today, I'm just going to plant them, whole thing. And we have about a 24-foot row. We have almost half a milk crate full, and that'll go a long way. Some of them we're going to have on top of each other. That's fine. They'll grow, they'll put out shoots, they'll make potatoes, and the whole row will be a hill basically. So from one end to the other, we'll have potatoes. We'll have whites and reds in the same spot. That's fine with us. So we'll get planting and then we'll show you what's going on. We'll just set them in the ground. That's a white, that's a red, that's a red. I'm spacing them about 8 inches. I may come back through and put a small one in between each one. Again, there's a white, and there's a red. We probably got enough potatoes to plant 3 rows this long, but we'll for now plant 1 row. I may try to save some of these and plant late potatoes, plant those in a couple months, and then harvest them in the fall, late fall. And then you have potatoes, fresh potatoes, in the fall as well. So we're just alternating back and forth. White, red, if I can, if I see them. That's basically it. I mean, they come from the ground, you put them back in the ground in the spring and let them do their thing. Cut. So I typically try to get the biggest ones first and try to make sure we give ourselves the best chance. Normally a big potato is going to have a lot of eyes on it. A lot of eyes means a lot of foliage. And they'll put down their roots and they'll get going from there. So I'm going to cover them up. Just working my feet down the row, kicking dirt over on top of them. Covering them up with about 3 to 4 inches of soil. Go down the row, one side to the other, trying to make a little hill shape. As you can see where the hill of potatoes is. I'll come back through here in, I'd say maybe 2 weeks and put that straw manure on top. We'll update you when they start popping their heads through. And that's about it for planting potatoes. I mean, you can fertilize them if you want to. Throw something organic down on them, some blood meal. Fish emulsion is good. You can make compost tea. You can make your own compost and fertilize them with that. A lot of people use the 12-12-12, and I got nothing against that. If that's what you choose to use, then use it. I do use it from time to time in my garden. I try to lean towards the organic side of things if possible and not introduce a bunch of chemicals here and there. That's why we spray with neem oil for pest control, such as that. If you want to use 12-12-12, more power to you, go for it. It's a good fertilizer, it does the job. I tend to do the organic thing. We spray with neem oil to control pests, and it is organic. Don't believe it hurts the honeybees as much as, you know, a malathion or diazinon or 7 dust. They're still doing some research on it, but I do believe it is not harmful towards the bees. And we need all of the honeybees we can get. So like I said, Facebook group, Blue Ridge Homestead, Instagram, we're on there as well. Got a YouTube channel, obviously, or you wouldn't be watching this video. And hey, this is Lewis and Sally for Blue Ridge Homestead saying come grow with us.